Welcome to Teaching Moments. I'm Hillary. Today I'm going to be reviewing a very popular dyslexic curriculum called Barton Reading and Spelling. As some of you may know, I have been using this curriculum for several years now with my kids, all four of which have dyslexia. So I've done levels 1 through 7. I've already done reviews on them in the past, so if you'd like to take a look, go ahead and look on my channel and you can find the videos there. Today I'm going to be reviewing level 8, which sometimes I call book 8. I use them in exchange, so to me it's the same thing. But anyway, so Barton Reading level 8, which is advanced vowel teams. So first let's first talk about what we get in our Barton boxes for level 8. As with every one of them, you get the instructor's manual. That's how thick it is. This one's kind of a bigger one. You also get some blue pages that are the student pages and yellow pages that are for the teacher to do. I take the blue pages and I paper hole punch them and I put them in a binder like this all together, and then I will make copies of the ones that the students write on. You also get the DVDs come with it to be able to watch those, and this is to teach the tutor how to teach the student. Whenever I order something from Barton Reading, I always get I get emailed the video as well. At least I did in the past. I think they're still doing that. I usually end up getting the video through my email before I even get the package in the mail. So you get a video with it, and then you will also get tiles, level 8 tiles. This bag is empty because I already have my tiles on my magnetic sheets that I put them on. If you want to see how I organize things for Barton Reading, I have one that talks about our organization of Barton Reading. Okay, so that is what you get in the box, but there's two other tools that I think are very important to use with the Barton Reading levels, and that is found on the Barton website for the tutor resources, which you do need a password for, but you can get the spelling rules, which are very handy, and print them out. I forgot to grab those before we started, but here are the spelling rules for book 8. I don't have a color, well, I didn't have a color printer at the time I printed these. These are very handy to go through with your students so that they can get them down. And then also there is the fluency speed drills, which I highly suggest using. So I have a son that is profoundly dyslexic, and then also my other son has dyslexia, and I'm not sure to which level. I would say probably at least severe. And the fluency drills have helped my boys out tremendously. It really helps them to click. It helps them to gain confidence with the words. I highly suggest you using fluency speed drills with levels, I think they 4 through 8. Do they start at 3? I'm not really sure. But any of the levels you can use your fluency speed drills, I highly suggest, and be consistent with it. Do it every time you sit down for the 2 minutes. Well, it's 2 minutes for one read through, and I do 2 read throughs. So I just be consistent and do it. It really helps the kids out. Okay, so that's what comes in the box. Those are the 2 extra tools that I suggest that you use. They've been a big help for me. So now let's talk about what is in the advanced vowel teams level. Okay, so this level has 13 lessons. The levels have usually been between 9 and 14 lessons I've seen. This one's 13 lessons, and it's kind of divided in half, though it's not an even half. The first 4 lessons 1 through 4, have a lot of spelling rules. As a matter of fact, your first 4 lessons, you will get 20 spelling rules. Yes, that's a lot, which is why these come in handy. When they're coming at them so fast, it's really important to go through the spelling rules, and then on the back has the rule. So total, this book has 36 spelling rules. You get the first 20 in the first 4 lessons. So those rules were kind of interesting. They were different things I hadn't really thought of before, and many of them were spell checker rules. So let me give you an example of a spell checker rule. This one right here. This one here. Spacious, ambitious. And basically what it's telling you is shus, look up shus as $IOUS when they look it up in the spell checker. Okay, so here's how I handle spell checker rules. I go ahead and teach the way that it says in the book. I teach my student that. But in my mind, my kids are not going to be carrying a spell checker around with them everywhere that they go, or when they're sitting down. Even though they're homeschooled, I don't bring out the spell checker for them to use when they're doing their homework. So this is how I do it instead. What they're going to be using it most of the time for, whenever they're going to be writing just out in the real world, will probably be an email or a text message is the times that they'll be writing the most. So those things have their own kind of spell checkers on it. So how I teach them to do this is I just say, so because the us part, the shus part, I say shus, as in spacious and ambitious, can either be CIOUS or TIOUS, so that they realize that there's that CT difference. So if one of them didn't work, the other one should work. And so that's how I teach it to my kids. So when we're going through the rules like this, they just say shus can either be CIOUS or TIOUS. So that's how we work through spell checker rules. And that's what I do with all spell checker rules. And I even put on the front as a note to us, it's a spell checker rule. The other rules are more solid rules that you can use while you're spelling a word and you don't have to have a spell checker in front of you. So that's how I handle spell checker rules, because I've never seen a spell checker before until I did Barton Reading with my kids. I do like their rules, but I like the ones that I can remember in my mind and not the ones that I have to use the spell check for. Those don't make as much sense to me. So that's how I teach my kids those rules. Okay, so that was lessons 1 through 4, has a lot of spell check, has a lot of rules in it. Then the rest of the lessons from 5 on, so 5 through 13, actually it's 5 through 12, they are the advanced vowel teams. So up to this point, your student has learned 9 vowel teams, and this book teaches them the rest of them. And these, if the kids have been reading, or student, because they could be older, if the student has been reading for very long at all, more than likely they've come across these advanced vowel teams. So it will make more sense to them. But I like this book, book 8, because I feel like it gives the very last missing pieces to what they need to read just about anything. Not everything, but just about anything they want to. So that's why I really like this. Once we get past lesson 4, I really enjoy the rest of the book, because it just it really makes sense. And then that's what I was going to look up here. They do learn a few prefixes. Lesson 13, they do talk about some prefixes in that one. So, yes, so that is what is covered in book 13, or book 8, in the 13 lessons of book 8. After this book, they should be able to read just about anything. So my oldest graduated from high school a couple of years ago, and she got to level 8. I was nervous about how far she was going to get in the Barton Reading System. I kind of you don't want to rush them to go too fast, because then they won't retain what they're even learning. But at the same time, I didn't really want them to go too slow, especially her. She was graduating soon. So I did a little researching into it, and I saw a lot of people said at least try to get them to book 8. So that's what I did, but then I went back just before this video to make sure I was doing it correctly. And we are highly encouraged actually to go through levels 9 and 10 as well, which I have over here. But if you're going to stop, level 8 would be a better place to stop than any of the other levels. You really need those 8 levels. The levels 9 and 10 you also need to get up to the adult level of reading. But I did allow my second child as well to stop at level 8 because he's been working so hard learning to read, and Barton was awesome for him, and he has learned to read. He's my profoundly dyslexic child, and he's reading now, and I'm so excited. I'm just so excited at the progress that he's made. So I just want to encourage you guys, just keep at it. Consistency is the key. My third child just finished this level 8, so I've gone through level 8 3 times now. And she's mildly dyslexic, mild to moderate, actually. I used to think she was mild, but I think she's more moderate. At any rate, she's just finished this one. We're going to go on to levels 9 and 10. She's going to be my first one to go through levels 9 and 10, so I will have a review on those in the future. I don't know when. It depends on how long it takes us to get through that. But so my thoughts about level 8 is it's a bit of a doozy. Levels 4, 6, and 8 are rough. By the time you've gone through this system 3 times, level 4 doesn't seem very hard anymore. It really doesn't. Level 6 and level 8 are a little bit tricky as well. They're thicker, they're longer, they have more rules, but they're good books. It's still very needed. I liked the Advanced Vowel Team book though, because it, like I said, it made sense at the end. So there's my review on the level 8 of the Barton Reading. Just checking my notes to make sure I got everything. Yep. All right. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please be sure to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel to get more of my videos that I post. Thank you so much for watching.